Great. Well, thank you, Mary, Raina, and the organizers, and thank you, Walleyes. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to tell you about FreeNav today and what we are calling wireless GPS for the body. So imagine for a minute that your family member or loved one needs an urgent medical procedure. Their physician, their ability to identify and treat the condition is vital to a successful outcome. And among clinical imaging, navigation systems are used to track surgical tools and diagnostic instruments, ensuring that accurately delivered. Unfortunately, the sensors used with today's navigation systems, they're expensive to manufacture, to integrate into instruments. They're subject to failure, adding precious time and putting patient safety at risk. And they're incompatible for many needed applications due to their limited wire. Fortunately, there's a solution. FreeNav has produced an electromagnetic tracking system available today. Our tiny, unpowered, completely wireless tags can be designed in or easily attached to instruments and integrate with navigation systems. They can be produced at a fraction of the cost, $1. This not only simplifies clinical workflow and reliability, but will substantially increase the number of available therapeutic uses, removing barriers to healthcare access for more people around the world. We expect that FreeNav will disrupt the current EM tracking market. Customers value the product attributes that we clearly have advantage over our competitions, and we are nearing the convergence point in the classic technology curve. Demand for this technology is higher than ever. Conversations between FreeNav and me continue to reinforce the desire to acquire and integrate this technology, and our approach is protected through patents and trade secrets. All from our amazing team, the strength and experience of FreeNav leadership, a world-class development team, and the valuable local partnerships with organizations like the event today. So thank you for this opportunity. And
very good. Thank you. Judges, do you have any questions?
Great presentation, Brian. I guess I'll jump in with the first question. Could you speak a little bit to the stage of development, and in particular, what data you might have around accuracy compared to traditional EM sensors?
Yeah, thank you. So the initial patent was filed 4 years ago. There's been a significant amount of work, over about $1 million of in-kind investment and technical development since that time. And really with earnest in about the last 18 to 24 months, we've gotten to the point where we are on par at parity with current systems, current wired systems. So we have also moving forward a pretty detailed development plan that outlines our phases over the next, what we expect to be about 30 months.
Brian, what's the regulatory environment on a device like this, trying to be a platform across many devices? How do you manage the multiple regulatory pathways of multiple devices? Yeah, great question, Tim. It's really consistent with how the current market players are addressing it. And so what you would see if you go to any of the websites of the competitors that I listed there, NDI, Polhemus, and Radwave, is the same approach that we're taking, which it's really the responsibility of the device or instrument manufacturer to take it through the regulatory pathway. And so we're providing those components of the devices, and how they're used is really up to them. I will say that everything's being designed to the levels of specifications that allow them to be, the ISO certifications and everything else that are part of that, really the table stakes needed for any implantable devices, instrumentation, or navigation systems.
Okay.
Hey, Brian, great presentation. Do you see any changes to workflow? Do you see any
Sure, I'll jump in with another question. What are your biggest risks? What's the catch, right? Like lower costs, as good of accuracy, no wires, it's wireless. What keeps you up at night?
Yeah, honestly, where to begin? So many opportunities. We've been approached, like I mentioned, by a number of significant players, and really it's, do we go after the existing market first and displace and disrupt, or do we go after completely new opportunities where there are devices that just are uncensored today because of, unsensorized rather, because of the limitations of the wired sensors? Sorry, Raven, you had a question as well.
Yeah, I was just asking, do you see any benefit in workflow efficiencies, and or have you seen how this performs in different body cavities?
Yeah, so that tells a great story, and just in terms of the simplicity that's gained and the lack of failure modes that are now possible as a result of having unwired. It's not unusual for wires to fracture or break during, or be a problem during the setup. And a clinician's environment, frankly, is already very complicated. There's a lot going on, and so if you can eliminate that complexity and the additional risk, and risk to the patient as well. Compromised sterile field is something that's possible when devices fail. And so, yes, absolutely, that's a big piece of it. Sorry, the second part of your question?
We're out of time. We're out of time. That's okay. All right. Thank you,
Thanks
Brian.
again.
All right. Nice job.